WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs. Original shows. Music news. The hottest DJs from around the world.
All righty then. Welcome back, Blacks. And thanks for joining us here for another week and another weekly breakdown here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. My name is Marcus Smoot.
My name is Miss Lyric Bravado. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, Miss Lyric?
Nothing too much.
I feel like as a podcast, we're like that cousin that like the rest of the family didn't introduce you to because we like lit as fuck, but we don't really fuck with the rest of the family. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The Black Sheep crew.
Right.
Yeah.
But then like you meet that cousin and you're like, you're actually pretty dope, and you already side out of shit that they already side out. Yeah, we that kind of podcast. I feel like
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
How's your week?
My week has been okay. So far, so good. I can't complain. It's been raining like cats and dogs, so the weather's been dreary. Yeah, but it has been helping me get rest. I guess that's that old people shit. I don't know. Does that mean I'm getting old? Because I like to sleep when it rains outside.
That's another thing about this podcast. It's like we grew up. You know, we've been doing this for like all these years, so we kind of like grew up and watched one another grow and shit. That's yeah, it has been gloomy though. I'll tell you that much. And then for us to be kicking off Libra season,
I know somebody got a birthday coming up.
Don't remind me.
Oh yes, sir.
Oh no, man.
So what's your mood with that being said?
Duck and dodge, the same as every year. Duck and dodge. The older I get, the more my priority becomes protecting my peace. And I want to, like, I'm in a good place, like, mentally, physically, you know, I feel better, and maintaining that has become a priority. It's caused me to have to make some hard cuts and just deter myself from doing fuck shit, because we too old to be doing fuck shit. It's like I'll look around at other people that are our age, and it's like even us. Like I love how we grow, but sometimes we don't. But you know, you still tell the growth. But you know, it's like the rest of y'all, I don't know what the rest of y'all doing out here.
But for most of us, that comes with age, and with age comes with wisdom. Like I said, for most of us, because some of y'all still out here living a trife life.
I don't understand. I mean, I get the struggle, but some of these decisions are just, I don't get it. Like to be in your 40s, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be 44, so I'm getting up there.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I love it. Anyways, pivoting on into that Black Facts.
That's
You want to go first?
Talk about it. Sure.
Go for it.
I need to start finding some more happy ones, man, because that's what I be finding.
I mean, that's Black Facts. That's Black life. Shit, being black.
But this is life.
I know. I mean, you can't do shit black without there being some bullshit going on, but go ahead.
All right. So as you all know, voting season is upon us. Yes, and I'm going to give you a Black fact that you might not know about. Herbert Lee, a farmer who helped register Black voters in broad daylight by state legislator E.H. Hurst in Liberty, Mississippi, was murdered. I'm not going to say he was murdered on September 25th, 1961. In Emmet County, just one Black person was registered to vote. It was the county most plagued by Klan activity in Mississippi at the time, and very few were brave enough to join the fight for voting rights. However, as a few people started attending a voting school that Moses set up in a small church, the local white community responded with threats of retaliation and violence.
Of course they did.
So on September 25th, 1961, which was not that long ago, that's the year my parents were born, wow. Lee arrived at Westbrook Cotton Gin outside the town of Liberty with a full load of cotton in his truck. When he got to the cotton gin, he was confronted by E.H. Hurst, a member of the Mississippi State Legislature. Hurst and Lee, who had been boyhood friends, had been arguing over Lee's involvement over voting rights. Hurst called him over, and in front of more than a dozen witnesses, Hurst shot Lee in the head, killing him.
Wow.
Hurst claimed self-defense. When he killed him, Hurst was acquitted the same day.
Of course, because why?
Yep.
Well, are you registered to vote?
I say yes, of course. That's why I say it is so important for people to get out there and vote. I get so aggravated when I hear Black people say it, because there are so many people who have literally died, just like the person that I just told everyone about, for you to have the right to vote. Like, take advantage of that, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Blood, sweat, and tears have went into you being able to do this. So everybody needs to get out and register to vote if you're not registered already.
And on that note, I mean, it's just, I'm hearing all this talk and stuff, of course, from usually the Hoteps, but it's just like, oh, well, I can't wait until this motherfucking election over. No, I can't. I'm so sick of hearing that. Okay, so first and foremost, if you haven't paid attention to the magnitude of this election, pay attention to it, because at this point, you should know. I mean, let's just be realistic. Even after November, when Kamala is elected, there's still going to be fuck shit, because white people ain't gonna let this shit go. They're just simply not. We gonna be hearing from them, of course, all through November about election fraud and all this other shit. Then it's gonna pivot into the holidays. We might not hear as much once Santa come out, but then back in January, it's gonna be more fuck shit around the inauguration. We ain't gonna stop hearing from white people about this until at least Valentine's Day, when they start to learn to love again. So I don't know what the shit they got going on with any of that, but I can tell you that, and I can tell you that, I mean, let's just say, for whatever reason, even if it goes the other direction, we still got another 4 years of fuck shit. It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
And we need to end that mentality of, okay, well, once voting is done, then we've done our part. No, then you need to realize we're putting these people into place. They work for us. We're the taxpayers. We pay their paychecks. So then the work becomes keeping them and holding them accountable to the things that they said. It doesn't stop.
And people need to realize that you need to listen to what Donald Trump is saying. He said that when he wins,
300 years,
nobody will ever have to vote again. Are y'all like not realizing what he's saying, what he's trying to say behind that? Like, y'all need to pay attention. Just pay attention. Everybody needs to like wake up. Did
you see how when he was talking about in that one speech, he was talking about how they're going back and it's going to be 300 years. They're going back like what? And then somebody else made, I mean, they've always made the point of what era you're talking about when you say make America great again. But they've even doubled down on it. And it's so funny when any of his supporters are questioned by that. Make America great. When was it great? Just ask one of them. Ask them, when exactly was America great? It's comical to hear the answers. Oh, well, it doesn't exactly mean, like, there's always this dancing around and this deflection when it comes to things that he's blatantly said that we hold him accountable for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's one thing or another with Mr. Trump. But anyways, my black fact for the week. one fun and actually positive fact is that the first African American woman to receive a patent was Judy W. Reed, in 1884. She invented a dough kneader and a roller, showcasing not only innovation but also the entrepreneurial spirit that has been a hallmark in Black people and Black history always. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, moreover, the influence of Black culture in the United States is monumental, shaping music, art, fashion, and food. Genres like jazz, blues, hip-hop, and R&B have roots deeply embedded in the African American experience, creating a profound impact and a global music culture. But, I mean, even more so going back to just the patents. We've just been creating just to uncover history. I love following what is it, the Black History Unlocked page on Instagram.
Yep.
I love following them because every time you log on in the morning, that's like one of the first things I check. It's always just a different nugget of something else that we did or something else that we started the groundwork for that is just, essential to the way that we live every day.
Yep, absolutely.
We are great. And we are often ignored. But you know what? We're going to keep it going. You ready for some letters?
I absolutely am.
All right. If it were lyric, we'll be right back.
Hey, can anybody tell me how Donald Trump is racist?
Fine. I will answer that question.
Because as a Black person in America, as soon as you say you're voting for Donald Trump, you're instantly labeled a coon, a tap dancer, waiting for a seat at the table, aligning yourself with white supremacy. So if Donald Trump is so racist, let me know how. I'm open to all answers.
Let's begin. You see, I'm not even going to talk about his racist past. Let's just talk about the policies he wants to enact if he becomes the 47th president. And in order to do that, we have to look at A47. Let's start with Trump's crime bills. First, Donald Trump wants to give the biggest police funding that we ever seen in U.S. history, while also granting the police a stronger immunity. And if you don't know this by now, but police officers are doing a horrible job. First, we have a substantial amount of unsolved crimes. There's also been reports of less crimes happening throughout the country. In fact, as crime decreases, the amount of people being unalived by police officers increases. Trump also added, in order for these police departments to receive these fundings, they have to enact certain laws. And one of those laws that he mentions is stop and frisk. If you don't know, most police-civilian interactions are usually initiated by the police officers. Giving these police officers these monetary incentives is going to increase the police-civilian interactions, which then will increase the chances of Black people being unalived. Because if you don't know, Black people are 2.9 times more likely to be unalived by a police officer than a white person. There isn't any research that even backs that stop and frisk actually decreases crime. Another problem that Black people will face is that Donald Trump wants to make homelessness illegal. Now, in his policies, it's written as urban camping, but we know that means homelessness. Now, don't get me wrong, no country should have a homelessness problem, but the unhoused should not be punished for what the system is doing to them. Now, economists believe that Trump's policies is going to harm the economy. And we understand when the economy does terrible, there's an increase of people who becomes homeless. And when America faces a homelessness problem, it dramatically affects the Black population. And because homelessness is illegal, police officers are the ones that's going to be carrying the law, which again will increase the chances of Black people interacting with police officers. And there are way too many cases of police officers taking a life away from someone who didn't have a home. Now, if you think about everything I told you, that is a recipe for disaster for the Black community. But it gets worse than that. Donald Trump wants to recreate the war on drugs. Now, in his agenda, he does call it the war on the cartel. And the reason why he has this policy is because America does have a big problem with fentanyl coming into the country. But we have to question who are the people bringing these drugs in. Because in 2022, 89% of those who smuggled the drug into the country were US citizens. The war on drugs was proven to be used to attack Black and brown people. And the war on the cartel is going to mimic the same thing that we've seen in the 70s. If you take the time just to analyze what I just said, you will realize how Donald Trump's policies is racist themselves.
Make Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would if it were lyric.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Miss Lyric, and I'm back with my segment with It Were Lyric, where I give my 2 cents on your relationships, situationships, and friendships. If you guys want to continue to send me your advice questions, please send them to my Gmail at lyricbravado@gmail.com, or feel free to DM me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok. And now let's get started. All right. So. I have one from Christine from Tennessee.
Christine.
And it reads, "Hey, Larry, I don't know if I'm being unreasonable or jealous over this, but I need your opinion. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years, and we share an apartment. He has a female friend. I won't say the name. Okay. And they were friends for years before I came along. I had no issue with their closeness, since I have male friends too, and I would be a hypocrite to leap to judgments, but I feel like I'm justified in thinking the way that I do. The first time I met her, it was obvious that she didn't like me. She came out with us and was excited to see my boyfriend, but when she saw me, her demeanor changed. She shook my hand, but she dug her nails into my skin and then proceeded to ignore me for the rest of the night.
What kind of mean girl shit is this?
She even seemed upset at one point that I took the seat next to my boyfriend.
Oh, girl.
As time passed, it became clear that her attitude towards me wasn't improving. She had a way of making fun of me in front of groups of friends, making side comments, loudly joking about my appearance or my voice. And my boyfriend would stand there and act like he hasn't seen anything. He'll say, when I ask him about it, he'll say he hadn't noticed. She also made a point of hugging him and saying hello or goodbye to him, but not me. She'd mix that stuff in with smiles and basic politeness. So when I say something, it looked like I'm tripping. The final straw for me came the other day when my boyfriend left his phone open and I saw a text exchange between the two. She sent him a heart emoji and my boyfriend had written something about how he was thinking about her. What should I do? Because at this point, I feel like either they used to have something going on, or he might have feelings for her. I don't know what to do, but I feel constantly disrespected and I want something to change, but I don't know how to go about it. Any advice would be welcome.
What do you mean you don't know how to go about it? Y'all live together?
It sounds like he made a choice to me. Because, first of all, if you're bringing up the fact that this girl keeps disrespecting you and he's not checking her, regardless if he noticed it or not, that is your problem. That's a problem. He's basically saying, oh well, you deal with it because that's my friend. No, he picked his friend over you. Your partner should never do that. Anytime you have a concern and you bring it to your partner and they choose to ignore it, that's your answer right there. He has no reason to ignore what you're saying to him. And the fact that he's doing it, the choice has already been made, sis. I think it's time that you pack it up and you move on about your life, because nobody deserves to be disrespected from anyone. I don't care if it's a friend, family member, whoever the case may be. Like, no. He should have addressed it and checked that bitch. Period.
Wow.
So I say move on.
I don't disagree.
Because he's obviously not into you, and he probably does have some unresolved feelings for her.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree. I'll only add that regardless if they have feelings or not, if you're uncomfortable and that is a deal breaker, walk.
Yep.
Walk.
Red flag.
Don't ignore them, because the same stuff you ignore in the beginning is usually the shit you end up breaking up with them for. So
absolutely.
I mean, it's right there. All right, I need this person wanted to remain anonymous, so I need a name for a girl in her 20s.
Let's say Amy.
All right, Amy wants to know. She says, "Dear Lyric, hey there, fabulous host. Hey there, fabulous hosts. I hope you're all living your best life and sprinkling that good energy everywhere you go. I'm a loyal. Okay. I'm writing to you with a little dilemma that's got me feeling all kinds of ways. So here's the tea. I recently started seeing this new boo. He's charming, funny, and has a smile that could light up the darkest room. But there's a little wrinkle in his budding romance. He casually mentioned that he just moved out of a place that had bed bugs. Now, listen, I'm all about love and good vibes, but bed bugs? Oh, honey, that's a hard pass for me. I'm sitting here wondering if I should invite him over to my place or if I should keep my home a bed bug free zone. I mean, I love a good cuddle session, but I'm not trying to wake up with a whole new family of bed bugs snuggled up with me. Do you think I should take the plunge and invite him over, or should I play it safe and keep my crib off limits until I can be sure he's not bringing any unwanted guests along? I could really use your sassy wisdom on this one. Thanks for being my go-to for all things fun and fabulous. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Sending you all the good vibes and bedbug-free energy. Amy.
Girl, don't bring that man over your damn house.
Mm.
No.
You don't think that's being classist?
No. If listen, bed bugs is one pest that is extremely hard to get rid of and get out of your house. Once you have them in your house, they're in your house. And it's very expensive for an exterminator to come in because they have to bring these gigantic heater thingies and place them in different areas in your house to basically overheat your house to kill them and their eggs. Girl, no. Why would you even want to play with yourself like that? Like, no, Meet him outside and let him drive his own car, because that's one thing too. They could be on his clothes. I've heard stories about them being in the movie theater.
Oh,
they had to shut the movie theater down. Yeah.
Oh,
they travel.
I've always heard
one on your shirt and it's curtains.
Yeah, I've always heard that, I guess I've, knock on wood, I've never, I've never encountered anybody that had to deal with it or anybody that's directly dealt with it. So I don't know. That's, wow, they're that, I've always, I'm Black. So we already know, after you visit certain people's houses, you got to shake your clothes out before you go into your house because, they roaches may be chilling.
So this is the thing. Just because somebody has bed bugs does not mean that they're dirty. And I'm not going to say all of that because I unfortunately had to experience that. Not my fault, not no fault of my own. I moved into an apartment that was infested with them. Did not know, was not made aware of them. And it drove me literally insane.
Oh my God.
Insane. I had just had my baby, my daughter, and I didn't even know what bed bugs were. That's how, I didn't know what the fuck they were.
I thought they were fictitious up until I became an adult.
Listen, I've never heard of them. Never lived with roaches, never had a mice problem, never dealt with bed bugs, did not know what they were. I thought they were like little beetles. So imagine me seeing like little joints. I'm thinking they're beetles. I'm killing them. There's blood. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It's
my newborn baby. I freaked the fuck out. When I moved, I had to throw away all of my furniture. Everything that I owned. Nothing could go. Because once they get embedded, they can get into the smallest, tiniest cracks. And you cannot bring any of that stuff. So I literally had to start from scratch when I moved. It is not a game. Bed bugs are serious. They bite you and leave like these disgusting marks all on your body. And if you're allergic, that's even worse.
Okay.
So no, girl, don't listen. Do not chance that. Let that man meet you somewhere mutual. Don't bring that I'm about to call him a motherfucker. Don't bring him and his rodents and pests and all that shit to your house because it's no.
What you think is worse, bed bugs or crabs? See, we grow, and then sometimes we don't.
They're equally disgusting. Because crabs, like, come on now. You wasn't doing what you were supposed to be doing by wrapping that shit up, so you welcome them.
Wait, hold on. But crabs can happen to you just behind your public hairs and stuff.
Just by what?
They can be in your public hairs and stuff. Yes,
how they get there? People don't get crabs by accident.
But a condom. What I'm saying is that condoms don't prevent crabs, do they?
Not that
no, because they be in your public hairs. So
but then you should be paying attention to the itching and the scratching. Then,
yikes.
Asking those questions, getting those tests done, which a lot of people don't get when they get into relationships. They don't get those full panels for those sex STD tests and stuff. They don't get that stuff done. They just be ready to smash, clap them cheeks, and then wondering why they asshole itching.
They're wondering why we can smell your nappy pussy.
No, thank you.
Full of crabs.
No, thank you.
See, we don't grow, but we do. It's great. I love it here.
All right, I got one more. One more. Okay, this one reads, "Hey girl, Braylon here." Oh, that's cute. I like that name.
That is a cute name.
So, I met a guy last Wednesday night, and we had our first date. At first, I noticed he was quite negative about a lot of different topics and way too into proving that he was right over me. Eventually, he lightened up during the night, and the convo ended up getting better. I invited him to come back to my apartment and offered him something to drink and dessert because that's what he said he was feeling. We were on my sofa, then all of a sudden he turned on me. Hold on.
Turned on you?
He ended up strangling me to the point where I couldn't breathe.
Girl, what?
Hold on. I passed out and went limp, vaguely remembering him checking for my pulse in my neck. Once I came around, I was gasping for air. And then that point, he said, "I think you love being a drama queen," and told me to shut up. He then proceeded to have sex with me, and I tried to pull him off, but I couldn't. He didn't even put a condom on and finished inside of me. I felt disgusting and sick that I couldn't fight him off, and I cried the whole time. A few days later, I went to the hospital because I've been feeling faint and dizzy, and it turns out that I have an artery in my neck that was compressed. He texted me on Saturday saying his mental health is in shambles, and he's been in a constant state of stress ever since he met me. He's suffering and struggling terribly and regrets it all. He told me if I want to escalate it to the cops, he can't stop me, but all he wants to do is make things right. My family and friends have told me to block him and not have any further contact, and they have contacted him to tell him to stay the fuck away from me. He deleted all his social media and says he needs to just unwind for a couple days because his mental health is in a bad spot.
What?
I'm paranoid about being pregnant because of him not using protection, but I'm also wondering if I should report it to the police.
What?
I'm scared about what he might do in return, which is making me hesitant. How should I go about this? Girl!
What? Okay, first off, turn us off right now and call 911. Do that. That's not a joke. That's serious. Turn us off. If somebody's not trolling, turn us off.
I hope this is not a joke because, girl, you are a victim of rape and sexual assault. You need to immediately go to the police.
Wow.
And I'm not understanding why you chose to write to me and not report this. I'm not blaming you or anything because I know how it is. You're most likely scared and don't know what to do. So this is my advice to you.
Wow. Take
your ass down to that police station and get his ass where he needs to be, which is underneath the jail.
Immediately.
This is not okay.
Nope.
And what you don't want is for him to do this to somebody else. He's trying to gaslight and blame it on mental health problems. He's a pervert. He's sick. He needs to get the help that he needs. And that's jail. Maybe they could do a psych eval or whatever the case may be in there. But that's not your problem. What you need to do is report him immediately.
Wow.
This is crazy.
Wow.
And I did not even read this one beforehand. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Braylon. Girl, go to the police and don't even worry about what he's gonna do in return. Get a they'll let you get a restraining order and make it so nobody can retaliate if you feel that threatened. Just do what you need to do. I'm sure that they can best advise you when you get down there to report it, but you need to report it. You need to report it because that's not okay. And then what happens if you are pregnant because of this? And even worse, what happens if he gave you something that you can't take a medicine to get rid of?
But you know what?
All these things are important.
I mean, I feel my heart goes out because, I mean, even, you know, I guess with all of this stuff that, you know, just the fear of coming forward and saying something and just listening to what other people, you look at how other people are viewed, then people want to victim blame. Well, what were you wearing when he did this? And, oh, girl, you met him after the first date and you brought him over your house. Of course you deserve. No. Girl, just like, breathe. Take a moment. No. This is yourself. You have to go and talk to talk to call the people, and then get yourself some therapy. Woo, my gosh!
Immediately.
That's awful. Ooh, that was heavy.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well, if anybody else is listening and find themselves in this type of situation, please don't be afraid to report it to the authorities. You need to do that, not only for yourself, but you need to do it so that the person that harmed you doesn't just get away with it and is allowed to do that to somebody else. The National Sexual Assault Hotline is 1-800-656-4673. You are also able to chat with them if you type that number in your phone as well, if you want to be confidential with it. But please call. Please call the police first and foremost. And then if you want further assistance and just somebody to talk to about how you're feeling, call that number.
And I mean, they tell you step by step. It says, number 1, ensure your safety. Mm-hmm. Number 2, seek medical attention. Number 3, contact law enforcement. Number 4, preserve any kind of evidence. And this could be anything, you know, just any kind of evidence.
Underwear you were wearing, text messages, anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Reach out to support services, know your rights, follow up. And, you know, from there, you know, you can go forward. But wow, I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible. My God.
Well, that concludes my If It Were lyric. Again, I want to thank you guys for continuing sending me your advice questions to my Gmail for serious matters like this. Like I said, please, before you reach out to me, please reach out to law enforcement. But if you have to and you just want to vent, send me your advice questions to lyricbravado@gmail.com or feel free to DM me on my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
All righty then. I guess we're going to troll the timeline. We're going to spice it up this time, though. Maybe change up the energy a little bit.
Absolutely.
All righty. We shall be back. How is this a comedy podcast? My God. Woo.
Another young black man found hanging in a tree in Mississippi. Did you hear what I said? I said another young black man within the span of a week
found hanging in front of an elementary school in Mississippi. Guys, America, this is not a distraction. And if you say that, you got a problem. This is America, right? And someone's trying to send a message, and your message is heard loud and clear. I want you guys to go look at this video right here on the screen. You can tap here and go watch that video, but you need to understand something, people. In certain cities, in certain states, some of them, they call themselves different names, Goon Squad, things like that. Right, Mississippi? It's time to clean house. As 2 young black men found hanging from a tree within a week. Watch this video right now. Spread the word. You can go in the description of this video and watch it, or you can tap on the screen, but we got to do something right now. And we can't let this get swept under the rug. I'm out.
Time to troll.
So instead of trolling the timeline, because that was a Tigger Man's kind of thing. So I know that last week we had kind of bounced stories off of one another and been like, speaking of which, so me and Lyric kind of talked a little bit offline, and we're going to, I guess, ping pong stories off one another and try to make these stories correlate, you know?
Yes.
Let's see how this week has panned out. So I was planning to talk about Marcellus Williams.
Yes.
That thing is depressing, and after we just got off of depressing, you know what? Let's start with that and then end up on a, more upbeat note. So Marcellus Williams, who was convicted of murder in 2001, has been granted a chance for justice after a Missouri judge ordered a new trial based on new evidence that questions the integrity of his original conviction. Williams has consistently maintained his innocence, and after recent findings, including DNA evidence, it was talks about exonerating him. And they've reignited the discussions about wrongful convictions and the flaws within the criminal justice system. So this development has garnered significant media attention and support from various advocacy groups, and everybody that just generally wants to see him succeed and move forward and things. Well, I know personally for me, I got, once I saw it on, it was everywhere. Like, you could not log into Facebook, Twitter, any of that without seeing this man's mugshot. I took down the info. I called the governor's office. I signed the petition. I did everything that I could personally, from an individual perspective, here in the state of Maryland. Mm-hmm. Don't you know, them bitches still executed him yesterday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
They sure did.
I don't know, like, in the conviction, like, everything that came out. Do I still have the details right there? All right, so it says he was executed yesterday at 6 p.m. After Missouri Governor Parson denied his appeal for clemency. They denied it first and then executed him. Like, you had petitions, you had DNA evidence. I'm just saying, like, you couldn't, hey, let's revisit this one more again.
Over 1 million people petitioned and called.
1,400,000 actually.
Yep.
So I don't know how this and other instances continue to happen when it's people of color, because I guarantee you, if it was a Biff, a Bobby, or a Margot, then I guarantee you, everybody and their mama would have moved heaven and earth. They still caping for Ashley Babbitt's dead ass for jumping through the goddamn Capitol building. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand, like, what's going on.
There's nothing to understand. It's ego, because they did not want to appear to be wrong, and prejudice and racism. And that's not going to go away. That's why I get so mad at some of these black celebrities like Lil Wayne talking about there's no such thing as racism. It's blatant. It's in your face.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And you know
this
what?
was so unjust. And the public outrage is so heavy that yesterday, even I put something up there because fuck him. The Governor
Parson.
Entire Instagram is wrapped up with, oh, you're going to hell. You're people calling him a murderer.
He
all
is.
types of stuff.
The
All
governor's
types of stuff. People are pissed.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah.
I put some stuff up there too, but I can't say what I said.
All right.
But yeah.
So I'm serving that to you.
And speaking of being served, T.I. and Tiny received over $53 million in punitive damages in the MGA Entertainment lawsuit. What? So, if you guys did not know what that lawsuit is talking about, they sued the LOL dolls.
All them little dolls they said look like Tiny.
Look like her kid, her daughter's girl group, yes. So,
why they put up a picture of Tiny next to the doll? And I was like, well, wait a minute. Tiny got a doll line? Who would buy that? Ugh.
No, she does not have a doll line, but they won for infringement and appropriation. Because when the dolls came out, they did have a striking resemblance to the OMG Girls, which is the girl group that her daughter is in and that she managed. So they got their coin, honey. I know that's right.
Well,
see it.
Speaking of people needing a coin, so Red Lobster is no longer. Red Lobster is no longer in bankruptcy.
That's
believe
good.
it or not. So I know you and Tigger Man a few months ago were sitting there talking about them biscuits. So for those of y'all that don't know, I can't do seafood, so I avoid Red Lobster at all costs. So I've never had these miraculous biscuits y'all talk about.
I mean, ain't no seafood in the biscuits. Them biscuits is banging. Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
But see, they make it around the seafood, and it's just like people that use the same grease to fry chicken in that they do fish at restaurants and stuff. That shit fucks with me.
Okay. Well, they do sell the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix at your local grocery stores if you do want to try it. It is delicious.
Oh, sis.
I got another one. Everybody's getting sued, honey. Ice Spice has reached an agreement to end a copyright lawsuit over allegations that her hit song In Her Mood was copied from a Brooklyn rapper's track. According to Billboard, rapper D Chambers claimed that Ice Spice's song was strikingly similar to his 2021 track In That Mood. The lawsuit claimed that D Chambers' song received significant airplay on New York City radio stations, including Hot 97 and Power 105.1, which he claims gave Ice Spice and others behind her track a chance to hear it.
I mean, we just talked about this last
Everybody
week.
Getting sued, baby.
Oh, listen. Speaking of people that getting sued, the Diddler, please back up. First off, before I even get into this, let me just say something to y'all weird ass bitches that keep making these I want to be at a Diddy party jokes. That shit is not cute. And let me also say something to y'all. We're all imperfect, and people like R. Kelly and Diddy, they just need prayer. So imagine for a second, right? Being, what was that girl's name that wrote in about the rape? Started with a B?
Braylon.
Yes, Braylon. Imagine somebody telling Braylon, girl, I'm praying for you and your rapist. Imagine that. Just imagine. I'm praying for you and your rapist. Like, this is what y'all are saying. And then the ones that aren't saying that are making jokes. I be at a Diddy party, especially y'all gay niggas. Like, I don't understand what it is. Like, don't we got enough shitty ass attention and like shitty ass opinions towards us that y'all got to sit there and heighten this narrative that this is how how it is being gay for everybody? Because it's not. It may be reflective of your life, but let that be specific to your life and your choices, and hopefully they are with consensual adults.
Right.
Now, getting into this story. This week, the case involving Sean Diddy Combs has taken a significant turn, capturing widespread media attention. So, here's the detailed overview. Arrest and charges. On September 17th, he was arrested. We all know. Indictment details. The indictment accuses Diddy of running a, quote, criminal enterprise, end quote, through his business ventures, engaging in a range of criminal activities such as sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The severity of these allegations points a troubling picture of the music mogul's alleged operations. Federal custody. As of now, he remains in federal custody now. Have you heard anything about these rumors about he's on suicide watch? Is that like, are those substantial or what?
Yes, it is. It has been reported that he is on suicide watch.
Huh.
They're claiming that it's because of his celebrity status. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, he's definitely on suicide watch.
What do you mean his celebrity status?
So they isolate
because of
celebrities, because they can't put them in population.
Of course.
What about the new lawsuit of sexual assault from Thalia?
I heard about that too. I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's still developing, so I didn't really pull much yet. But what's going on?
So apparently, her attorney Gloria Allred held a press conference to discuss the lawsuit that she filed on behalf of her client, which is Thalia Graves. She claims that Diddy sexually assaulted her and videotaped it in 2001. The lawsuit also claims that he sold it as pornography. During the conference, she says that she is dealing with PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and she's having a hard time trusting others since he's been arrested. It's caused flashbacks from the incident, and she's having a hard time opening up about the effects and the trauma that this has had on her. So
you know what? That's real too, because he had this shit airtight. Did you see how like they had it to where they were saying that he has cameras all in his house, and like he would use the camera footage as leverage to make people do like whatever, because again, y'all are heinous out here on the internet, and the moment that something's released, y'all won't just let victims be victims. Y'all got to make 1,001 jokes about shit, which makes people like Braylon and this young lady afraid to come forward.
Yeah,
because of the way that y'all respond to things like this. This is whew. I mean,
so unfortunate.
And I want to know, who are all these people? Like, who else is involved? I've seen all of these AI generated videos and all these, all this old footage and stuff of people partying with Diddy. But I mean, they're talking about freak off parties. And then, of course, they want to show the Jay-Z's, the Beyonce's, the yada, yada, yada. Now, I ain't got shit to do with Jay-Z, but I know my girl ain't do no bullshit like that.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, yeah, I refuse to believe it.
We shall see, because like I said, what goes on in the dark will have to come to light. And a lot of your faves was on that flight log from Epstein. And in other news, so it looks like Kamala Harris is now being targeted as the police are investigating damage done to her campaign office in Arizona. A window and a door of the property were pierced by bullets. No one in the office was there when the shots were fired. They confirmed that this happened September 23rd, and this happened overnight. So this is actually the second time the campaign office was targeted in the last few weeks. September 16th, it was hit with what appeared to be a BB gun or a pellet gun.
Wow.
So, yeah. People running wild.
Speaking of black politicians that I love, Barack Obama is also coming inches away from an armed stranger in Hollywood.
What?
Did you hear about that?
No. Do tell.
Okay, so let me pull the information because it just went away. But long story short, let me see. Shit. As soon as you pull it up. Okay, so as of now, there seems to be no specific information available regarding the incident, but Barack Obama came inches away from an armed stranger in a Hollywood alleyway. This alarming situation allegedly highlights a significant lapse in Secret Service security. Although the details surrounding the event remain unclear, the reported encounter between Obama and the armed individual underscores concerns about safety measures in place for high-profile figures. So, I mean, they're saying that the apparent, the person allegedly slipped past security and walked up on Obama, and that's when they noticed that he was armed. So details are still emerging. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, it still don't justify. I still am side-eyeing that whole Tubi incident from them. That thing Trump pulled in Pennsylvania.
Well,
I don't believe. Go ahead.
Speaking of Cheeto Face. A Haitian nonprofit in Springfield files criminal charges against Donald Trump and J.D. Vance following the pet eating claims.
Work.
The Haitian citizens in Springfield, Ohio, are continuing to apply that pressure when it comes to the false pet eating comments made by former President Donald Trump and his running mate.
Listen. Did you know? Hold on. Did you know? Because I was last week years old when we started talking about this. And somebody inboxed me after the show aired. And they're like, so you know that whole Haitian eating dogs thing is, it's like a cultural stereotype. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, I've heard it about Asians. I've heard it, that's usually like where my narrative has, where I've heard the story come from, people, Chinese, they order from a Chinese restaurant, they got cats and stuff in it and all that other ignorant shit that people say. But I did not know that they were saying that shit about Asians.
I didn't know either, but let me circle back. So it is true that some do. I cannot remember if it's in the Philippines, but I watched a documentary on Vice where they traveled over there and they do actually eat dog.
But see how you said they travel over there? That means the likelihood of them coming over here and eating mittens is probably a little less likely. just a little less likely over here.
Yep.
So I don't get it. That was yours, right?
Yes. The firm representing the organization says the charges come from the impact of Trump and Vance's baseless fear-mongering that legal Haitian immigrants to the Ohio town are eating their neighbors' pets. They are asking the court to affirm probable cause and issue arrest warrants for both Trump and Vance. As a part of the legal process, a hearing must be held before rejecting the affidavit. The charges that were filed include disrupting public service, making false alarms, committing telecommunications harassment, committing aggravated menacing, and committing aggravated menacing in violation, as well as violating the prohibition against complicity. Get their ass.
Speaking of, oh God, I don't know how I'm gonna correlate this one. Speaking of people with lots of word vomit. Did you hear about Janet Jackson?
Oh, I did hear about that. Proceed, though. I wonder what your thoughts are.
Janet Jackson. I'll tell y'all what TMZ said. All right. Janet Jackson has made headlines with her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris, which has sparked controversy and debate. While Jackson expressed admiration for Harris as a trailblazer and a powerful figure, her comments also raised questions about accountability and the effectiveness of political leadership. So, there's so much with this story because I want to talk about what she said, but I also want to talk about D.L. Hughley and what he had to say. Mm-hmm. All right. Janet Jackson praised Kamala Harris for her groundbreaking role as the first female president and her representation of women of color in politics. She highlighted the importance of having strong female figures in leadership positions and recognized Harris's contributions to advancing social justice and equality. Criticisms of Harris's policies. Now, despite her admiration, Janet, she also voiced concerns about specific policies and actions taken by the Harris administration, particularly in areas like affecting the marginalized communities. So the duality of praise and the critique has led to mixed reactions from the public and political commentators. So here's the thing. So I'm trying to find the actual tweet that Janet wrote because I have DL's. I'm sorry, the actual screenshot with the shade room. Do you remember exactly what she said or the paraphrase version?
I do not. I just saw that everybody was saying that D.L. Hughley had so much to say about it, but I really didn't look into what he even said. Okay, so I found it. So this is what she said. Well, you know what they supposedly said. She's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told they discovered her father is white.
Yeah, so when I heard that, and it was something along those lines, but I wanted to make sure that we quoted her correctly because people have been dragging her. And you know what? I don't want to say rightfully so, but I kind of want to say rightfully so. I'm going to tell you why. I love Janet. Well, I mean, you know, as an artist, I love what she stands for. I love what she's always stood for. But there's something to be said for timing in everything. So you can't be a champ. Like, it's just a bad look to champion for somebody for trailblazing and groundbreaking and being this female pioneer, but then using that opportunity to also slam. And it's like you're not even slamming her policies or anything that she's going to do with the country. You're literally talking about someone's ethnicity, someone's blackness. You, the Janet Jackson, who has this famously transracial or jokingly transracial brother, or had a brother, you know, and people made jokes about that. So certainly you, Janet Jackson, who has had these experiences and saw how they affected your family members, certainly you would have exercised a certain, a certain amount of decorum before jumping out there and saying things. And I get it. You know what? Tito just passed, and maybe she is feeling off or whatever, but I don't like it. I did not like the timing of it. It could not have come at a worse time. Like, you know, you got literally Trump and the other politicians and everybody with the goddamn microphone using and taking these opportunities to clip things and just take slams at Kamala any and every way that they can. Did you really think that this was the best time to say that, sis?
My thing is, I would have thought that she was, how should I put this? Because I don't want to come for an icon, but like a little more seasoned when it comes to interviews.
Again,
a lot of people like to try to put these celebrities in a trick bag, and it's always okay to just say no comment.
I mean, if
you're not sure about something and you don't know, just say that you're not certain about that. I can't answer that. Right. That's a way to like spin it to where you don't have to say anything bad about anybody, or even if that wasn't her intention, that's how it came across to people. Still, it came like it was giving like quiet shade a little bit.
It really was.
So if you don't want to find yourself in that type of predicament, just don't answer the question. You have that right. You're Janet fucking Jackson.
You really could have just not said anything. Like, don't just stop this. And speaking of people that we don't want to hear from about political things, DL Hughley. Okay, so I've heard entirely too much from DL since he spoke at the DNC. Like, I get it, friend. He spoke at the DNC. He had his moment. So you were up there. Everybody saw you. Even white people that don't know who you are, they now know you. Okay, sit down. Because DL, at this point, like, there's just certain opinions I don't want. I don't want to hear about politics from Janet. I don't want to hear about politics from DL. So he slams Janet and says, he tweeted, hashtag Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Hashtag Janet Jackson looks the way she does because she has plastic surgery. Hashtag Team DL. Why does he, every time he says something, he always hashtags it Team DL? Does he know that he shows up on a hashtag forum with a whole bunch of niggas that usually wind up in my inbox? Anyway, so he said hashtag Janet Jackson interview sounded like a hashtag Trump rally. FYI! Exclamation point. It's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman. Hashtag Team DL.
Damn.
Man, okay.
Damn.
Great. I mean, I
know he's a comedian.
Yeah, he is. And I mean, you know what? Broken clock twice a day. I get it.
But Jesus, did you have to drag her that bad?
And I mean,
I don't think so.
What? That's his lane, though. So I'm gonna stay out of his business on that. But I do not want to hear anything more from DL. I don't want to hear anything more from celebrities about Kamala. I don't. Shut up. We don't want to hear what you have to say because a lot of y'all's political opinions suck because you don't do that. You don't follow it. You have things from hearsay, just like Janet Jackson. Oh, I heard her father was white and this, that, and the third.
Listen, all of that stuff can be easily fixed by a simple Google search if people really wanted to know. She has said what ethnicity and nationality her parents are from over and over again. You can find it in many publications, but people nowadays choose to ignore the truth and believe the lies that are being said. I don't have time for it. I do not. People believe what they want to believe. At the end of the day, she has said that her father is Jamaican and her mother is Indian. Period. Let's move forward. Who cares what race she is?
Is she going to do the job? Is she doing the job?
Let's focus on that. People get on my damn nerves.
They do. You got the next one? You got something else?
Do I? Because y'all just pissed me off with that shit. I do have one more.
Go ahead.
Whether I know we already talked a little bit about Diddy, but I'm gonna circle back just a little bit while longer and talk about I'll Be Sure. He is calling for a further investigation into an entire group of individuals who worked at or around Kim Porter's residence. Which means he wants her death investigated. I know I said this maybe a couple months ago.
You did. You said, I want to hear what's going to happen.
It's very suspicious that the first person who declared her death not an accident mysteriously ended up dying. This does need to be investigated further, and obviously he wants this done too. Speaking of investigation, somebody needs to investigate this book that has popped up on Amazon.
Wait, they're saying that her family confirmed that that's not the actual book. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that's what people are saying. The friend who came out with this book said that Kim Porter slipped him and a couple of other friends a flash drive with some of her book on there. I'm not sure if this is true or not. I do know that some of her electronics were stolen out of the house and were not ever recovered from her house after the day that she died. Her laptop is missing, phones, lots of things, iPad, I think, were missing from out of the house, which is another thing that should raise suspicion. Now, her son came out and said that she was never writing a book and this, that, and the third, and this is a sham. That's not true, because she has said in interviews that she had a book coming out.
Wow.
So, I don't think that her kids should even be saying anything in the media right now. I think they need to get a PR person for them children, because they're already going through it. The mom is gone. Their father is in jail for all of these heinous acts that he's committed. They're really going through it, and it doesn't help that, all of social media has something to say about,
of course,
any and everything.
Of course.
I don't think that it is wise for these people to be coming forth and saying this stuff. Let the legal people handle this shit. We need to get better PR for him too. But it's good that somebody is at least advocating for her, because I've also said this, I cannot stress it enough. When she first died, it was so fishy to me. What's her name? The baby fat lady.
Oh, Kimora?
Kimora Lee Simmons, yes, even said that it was extremely weird because she had just talked to her. And she said basically she had cold symptoms, but it was nothing to the point where she was, deathly ill.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on. I hope we find out as this case unfolds, but like I said, a lot of you faves are about to be wrapped up in some stuff, so just prepare yourself. Speaking
of which, I got one last. Speaking of connections to Diddy, so Meek Mill, he tweeted, I want to hire an investigative team, 100K cash, to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill name to Diddy case. Which I always find is, I hate when people talk about themselves in the third person like that on social media.
It's so annoying.
It is so, it's one thing to, if I was saying, if I was verbalizing it, it's one thing there, but on social media, it's just weird. Anyways, he says, I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving, quote, Meek, anything to do with Buddy, something not right. So, Meek Mill wants us to tie in how he's connected to Diddy. Would you like to go, or shall I?
Proceed.
Collaborations and features. You and Diddy have crossed paths through music, particularly in the realm of hip-hop collabs. Diddy, as a prominent figure in the industry, has worked with various artists, and his influence often extends to those in Meek's circle. Number 2, social media interactions. Over the years, both artists have engaged with each other on social media, whether through supportive comments, likes, or sharing each other's works. These public endorsements can create a perception of camaraderie, even if they don't have a direct working relationship. Number 3, industry events. Both Meek Mill and Diddy have been seen at numerous industry events, award shows, and parties where they interact with many artists and influencers. Such appearances can create a narrative of association, especially if they are photographed together or mentioned in the same context by media outlets. Number 4, business ventures. Diddy is known for his entrepreneurial efforts, including Bad Boy Records as various brand endorsements. Meek Mill, as an artist and businessman, may find himself in conversations about collaborations and partnerships. Like, all of these things tie you back to Diddy, sir, and the list goes on. You can be associated without being directly associated. If you weren't a part of the Diddy parties, then just say that. But don't make this whole, I dare somebody. I'm paying $100K. What?
What we're not going to do is that.
What?
First of all, as you was talking, I just so casually wanted to see how many pictures of Diddy and him
and Meek Mill
there really were. Y'all motherfuckers was wearing matching outfits. Stop playing with the internet, young. We do not care. We do not care. We know. Allegedly, that was you on that audio.
Not clapping the cakes.
Yeah, come on. Like, stop playing with us. We all heard it. You acting like you was never around that much. Boy, all these photos of you and him all hugged up. Come on now. Stop it. Stop it. Stop that bullshit.
I don't get it. Like, the internet. Okay. One thing is for certain. The internet, if you put it out there, it does not go away. I started to tweet him with like pictures of him and Diddy together and asked for my $100K, but I feel like that would be petty. Anyway. All right, so if we care about anything else that happened this week?
No, not really.
Okay. Kmart's closing down. More stuff about Janet being dragged on. About the Whoopi situation and that show. Okay. Nope, don't care. Anyways, moving on. Up next, the Caucasian. You know what? I wasn't even. I'll save it for the next topic. Here we go. We'll be right back.
So I haven't done a Is This You video in a while, but for the stunt that Jasmine Crockett pulled the other day, it is time. Jasmine Crockett, is this you, the United States representative from the 30th District of Texas, and you did this?
Thing that I will say is that this election, I didn't ask you a question. The final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified black woman that is on the other side. And with that, I will yield.
It is official. Jasmine Crockett is her. And these mediocre white men need to stop playing in her face. You see this look on Carr's face? That is the look of a mediocre white man who has never been spoken to like Jasmine Crockett spoke to him before in his life. See, this is the look of a white man who realizes that he hasn't met his match. He has met his superior. And that face looking down on him is that of a black woman. Oh, mediocrity is in trouble, and that is what they fear.
Take us to work. Take us on the go. Take us wherever you go. WRTR, Real Talk Radio.
Welcome to the second half of the show here on WRTR, Real Talk Radio. So I skipped my segment because I didn't really have anything that, other than, white people ain't doing anything outlandish, and y'all not doing it. Any more outlandish than they have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing's notable. Y'all aren't whiting any more than you usually white. And niggas ain't trying to be no more like abusive white men than they normally are. So, yeah. Moving into the second half of the show. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Feeling good.
Alrighty. Well,
you?
I'm good. So we got a letter from a listener, or we can talk about this list of the worst cities to date in.
Ooh, I want to hear the list.
All right, so the worst cities for dating. The Shade Room apparently posted a study by Fetish Finder about the worst cities for dating, and here are their results. Coming in at number 10, San Jose.
Okay.
I would assume, because who's there to date anyways.
All right.
Number 9, Phoenix.
Okay.
Number 8, Houston. That's surprising. Really?
I believe it.
Why?
I believe it.
Okay.
Listen, you forgot that my mom's side of the family is from there, and I went to school out there. Yeah, I believe it.
Oh. Y'all wilding in Houston? I can believe number 7, San Diego, because yeah, I can see that for San Diego.
Really?
I really can. Yeah. They tend to be really, I don't know. I look for different shit in people than y'all look for. So yeah, okay. Number 6, Fort Worth. Number 5, San Antonio. Jesus, what's going on in Texas? Don't find love in Texas. It's horrible there. Number 5, I said San Antonio. Number 4, Chicago. Chi-town?
Wow.
Really?
Maybe. The murder rate's high, so I guess.
I guess you would find trouble falling in love if everybody you date keep dying a gunshot.
Right. That's not funny, but yeah.
It's horrible. Growth, but not really. See? Number 3, Philadelphia.
The city of brotherly love.
I don't know, because I've met some Philly niggas tend to have a swag I don't hate.
I don't know.
They always scamming though. I don't know. What y'all doing?
I've heard that. Matter of fact, I believe that shit.
Philly's a whole culture though. Even when you go there, you can't order no steak and cheese. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like it's a whole culture, it's a whole vibe. Number 2, Los Angeles.
I
can believe. Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not number 1.
It's too many personalities in LA to be trying to find. And plus, people move to LA for like career. Ain't nobody really thinking about love and stuff in LA. At least it's been my experience.
Unless they trying to find a sugar daddy to marry.
Oh, well, yeah. It depends on what kind of work you're doing.
Right.
All right. Number 1. We ready?
Yeah.
Can you believe that New York is number 1?
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
The mayor of New York is pretty shitty. Eric Adams is horrible.
Are you kidding me? First of all, TikTok let me know that the dating pool in New York is full of doo-doo.
Really?
Yeah. A whole bunch of cheating going on and all types of stuff. Yeah.
Hold on, what happened? Okay, it was like one point in time New York had like the standard for swag. Like when you think 90s fine, you usually think New York.
I mean, that's true, but motherfuckers obviously think they too fine, that they want a two-time.
Oh. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Y'all do like the.
I guess.
Y'all do like to dip your chip in a little bit more than one bowl.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's wild. I'm surprised. DC ain't make that list.
Me too. I was waiting for it. I looked on this list for anything in Baltimore. Apparently, we good.
Well, I'm gonna give it an honorable mention.
Giving my
loud out here like a motherfucker.
Giving my history. Woo, baby.
Yeah, definitely should have been on the list.
Should have. Laura, we got your wonderful letter. We'll answer you another week that's not this one because we ran a little late. That segment took up a lot of time. So, but I did get the letter. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the warm words that you guys have and you send in this week and others. Thank you so much. Like,
yes, we love it.
We really do. And I don't always say it because I don't like that. It's the same reason I can't read. I can't write my own resume. Believe it or not, I can write a resume I can write some stellar ass resumes for usually everybody but myself. When it comes to talking about myself, it's something I'm trying to break through it, but it's something that just stops me and makes me feel awkward. It feels like I'm boasting or braggadocious or something. I don't like that.
You're a very humble person, and sometimes it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Even for me, it's hard for me to like accept compliments and stuff like that from people and stuff because I'd be like, what they be like?
I'm trash. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Work in progress.
I'm still working. Alrighty then. So, Waffles up next. We be back.
Dear women voting for Trump, you fucking suck. Point blank period, and I'm serious. You're voting against your own interest. You already voted against your own body autonomy. You cheered in the streets when Roe v. Wade was overturned. You was proud of that shit. Now you're voting for Project 2025. Bitch, you're trying to send us back to the Gilded Ages. You want this to be Gilead. And let me tell you something, ho. We're not going back. Lucky for you, you have women like me who gonna be on the right side of history and do what's right for you, even though you don't even deserve it. But see, there's something called selfless service, and this is the time for all women to stand up and do what's right, not just for us, but for generations of women to come. We go down this path now, and he get elected, he opened up the gates of hell, and there's no stopping it. Very disappointing. Y'all really want Gilead. Very disappointing. Voting against your own interest. If you have not, I would say go ahead and read some of Project 2025. They quite literally want to take us back to the 50s, and we're not going back. Who the fuck doesn't want to vote? What woman don't want to work? What woman don't want to have her own bank account? What woman don't want to travel freely without the permission of her fucking spouse? Are you crazy, bitch? Excuse me? Are you crazy? That's quite literally what you're voting for. What the fuck I look like asking my husband if I can go to Bahamas without him? You bitch is crazy. I ain't never in my life. Yeah, vote Kamala 2024. Let's get her inaugurated 2025. Let's flip this shit. You bitches crazy.
Why do you have roaches?
The why file.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
And it's all downhill from here. Explaining the unexplained. We're answering why to the questions you want to know by taking your tweets at WRTR Radio. We take your emails over at WRTRradio@gmail.com. And we take your Facebook messages over on our Facebook page, WRTR Real Talk Radio. This is the Wi-Files. Remember, the truth is out there. And I've got 2 of them today.
I've only got 1, and it's
Great.
not for me this time.
Oh, okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
Seth from Jersey wants to know, why do some women feel that their biological differences justify certain behaviors or expectations in relationships?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So didn't elaborate, but what I'm getting from it is their biological differences. So I'm guessing he's saying like women get a pass to, maybe he's saying like women get a pass to, be irritable or whatever because they have periods and men don't.
I mean, that's part of our biological makeup, so I don't understand what you expect.
Me either, because I know, honestly, I cut my foot the other day and it bled for like a half a day and I was completely over it, upset, angry, and moody. So I can't imagine bleeding for 7 days and not having a bit of a tooth. I can't. Just what?
First of all, women are emotional creatures anyway.
As most men are, but y'all just don't like to admit it.
Right.
Y'all like to hide that shit and be toxic to every goddamn body else.
And we have different hormones than you all. So I'm not understanding why men ask this question over and over and over. And I've seen so many Facebook debates about why women are so emotional. We were made that way. It is not our fault. That's just how women are. Some are more and less than others, but that's part of our biological makeup.
Why do y'all hate women? That's the thing. I just don't get it. I just do not get it. Why?
Because the truth is out there. Well, Marie from DC wants to know, why do people always feel like they need to make an announcement whenever they break up from a relationship on social media?
Because they announce that shit when they're in a relationship. That's why. Because we got to sit there and listen. Oh, so-and-so is in a relationship with such and such. And then they post y'all's pictures together and everybody goes, congratulations, but we all like secretly sitting there going, they're gonna break up. Or we sit there and troll the page of the other person, be up there like, ugh, he ugly as shit, or ooh, why her wig crooked and shit like that.
Me personally, I don't care for it, especially when celebrities do it, because child, y'all not helping me pay none of my bills, whether y'all together or not. So I really don't care.
Celebrities do that?
Yeah, they be making special announcements and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I just seen one the other day about Victoria Monet and her husband made a special announcement saying that they're getting a divorce and they decided to split ways. Girl, I didn't even know you was married, let alone in a relationship with the man. Okay, what are we supposed to do with this information? Like, I don't be caring about that shit.
Why?
Because the truth is out there, and keep it to yourself.
One of the Instagram pages I follow, Black to the Block, they have a question. They said, why is everything over-sexualized in the world today?
I don't know, but it's disgusting though.
It is crazy.
Insane.
And here's the thing. Okay, so I think, was it this week? Or I'm sorry, was it last week or the week before? But I had talked about how the algorithm kind of be telling on people and stuff. And you can tell about like just people in their overall, like what they consume. And I'm not just talking about on social media. I'm talking about just overall in media, in the world. It's always these over-sexualized people. Everything's got to be a joke. Everything's got to have like a little creepy kind of, ooh, I'm thinking about my penis kind of undertone. It's weird.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
But guess what? These platforms allow it, though.
They do.
And it's so weird because I've reported like a couple of ads that were on my feed, and I don't know. I don't be looking up nasty shit on Facebook or nothing like that. But recently, you know, they have these stories, like these little novel thingies that come across your feed that you can like download the app and read these like fictional stories or whatever. And in my story, like for the ads, they had like this inappropriate one with this girl with her legs open, and in the caption it said, "I'm getting pounded by my boyfriend's father," or some shit like that. Wow. And I reported it, like they're showing titties and everything, and they did not take it down. They said we don't see this as a problem, but yet I'm getting flagged for posting a fully dressed South Park character GIF saying no thanks man or some shit like that, like for nudity.
Yeah, like the shit that you should be getting flagged for, you never get flagged for, but you always want to it's always the small man that takes the hit. Wow. Why?
Because the truth is out there.
All right, let's end this ratchet ass segment. That wraps it up for this week's Y-Files. You got the social media links. Keep us engaged and keep the conversation going at WRTR Radio on Twitter. Up next, news to make you nauseous.
Let's talk about that funky little $1,200 Trump stimulus check that y'all keep wanting to bring up. First of all, Trump didn't give you anything. He held it up. He just wanted his name on it. So you will believe it came from him. Secondly, that money doesn't come from him. That is your money. You pay taxes. And in all actuality, you should have gotten more. But it was the Republican Party that said, no, we're not going to give them all that money. Because the Republican Party is not a party for handouts. The second stimulus check that came in late 2020 was only $600. Do you know why it was $600? Because the Republican Party said that you all were being lazy and they're not going to give you any more money. That is why the unemployment went from $600 extra to $300 extra. And because the Republicans wouldn't let up and you needed immediate assistance, you got a $600 check from your Republicans. Thank them. Now let's talk about what Biden and the Democrats did as soon as he got into office. They got you a $1,400 stimulus check. They extended the $300 for unemployment, but they got you some money you never even think about. On your taxes while Trump was in office, you got $2,000 per child. Under Biden's stimulus package, you got an extra $1,600 if you had a child who was under 6, and you got an extra $1,000 if you have a child who is over 6. So you jumped from getting $2,000 per child to getting $3,600 per child, or $3,000 per child. If you have 2 kids under 6, that's $7,200 you were getting at tax time. So when you say the government helped you more when Trump was in office, no, they didn't. I think where y'all are confused is you had more money in your pocket because the world shut down, because people were dying all around you and you weren't going anywhere. So yeah, you had more money in your pocket because nobody was spending money. The government actually gave you more money under Biden, not Trump. Thank you, Biden and the Democrats.
And now,
Say what?
News to make you nauseous on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Let's go.
These are some of the stories you might not read about in the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal, except for lyrics. It's news to make you nauseous.
This is horrible. Horrible,
Oh,
horrible. And I am ashamed to say what I'm about to say right now, but say what, Seat Pleasant, Maryland.
Say what?
Not the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Not around the corner.
A 13-year-old girl was left in critical condition after being shot by her own mother.
Oh, well, what the hell?
On Monday evening, authorities were called to a home in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, where they found a young girl with a gunshot wound at the back of her neck. Another 32-year-old Talika Brown told officers that her daughter was shot by a homeless person on her way home from school. Mom is advising that she arrived home from school like that. She came home, she was already bleeding, and apparently had a gunshot wound to the back of her neck. They're advising the patient was shot in the neck by a homeless person, dispatch said. Things changed when the 13-year-old was receiving medical attention because she confessed that her mom shot her after an argument got physical. She started to walk down the stairs where she heard the gunshot. She fell and was no longer able to move. Her mother instructed her to tell authorities that someone broke into their home and shot her. According to legal documents, there was a smell of discharged weapon in the home, and Brown told the officials that there was an unregistered weapon in a safe that didn't belong to her. After conflicting statements and questioning, Brown was arrested and charged with first-degree attempted murder and more while her daughter sits in critical condition in the hospital.
So, I mean, did this happen like after an argument? Did I miss that part? Yep. Did my ADHD kick in?
Yep.
Wait. Oh, wow.
Yep. This past Monday. That's wild.
That is beyond wild because... And then you made her lie?
Mm-hmm.
And in Seat Pleasant?
She said, bitch, I ain't lying for you. I'm going to tell them motherfuckers who
I know that's me. Right. In the back of the... And then you said a homeless person. That's the same shit Trump be doing. And sitting there using people's fears to, of immigrants and people that are underprivileged. They use them. They weaponize people's underprivileged to turn them into criminals and blame shit on them. I hate that. I hate it here. All right. Well, I guess it's just a week for abusing your children. Say what, Georgia?
Say what?
A Georgia couple is currently behind bars after authorities found their 2 children with major injuries to their bodies. According to WBS TV, authorities conducted a wellness check at the home of Kyle David Rogers and Dejanay Nicole Jones after a witness reported that 2 small children at the home were in danger. When authorities arrived at the home, they found a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old with injuries. Both children are currently in the hospital with the youngest child in critical condition. After further investigation, the children's father has been charged with aggravated battery, aggravated assault, 2 counts of first-degree cruelty to children, battery, and 3 counts of terrorist threats. Terrorist threats. The mother has been charged with first-degree cruelty to children. Authorities are asking that anyone with further information contact the proper authorities. So I'm just like, so we're in this climate of people talking about, the children. You're gay. The children. Drag queens wanting to read the show. The children. Just all of these heinous things. And we're not addressing the issues. What about the kid? There's all this attention on the unborn child. What about the kids that are here?
Right.
This is the fuck shit that y'all are doing to the kids that are actually here. Can we get that together? Can we? Just a little bit? Maybe? You want these and more nauseating news stories, which I'm sure you don't. But still, follow us on Twitter at WRTR Radio. I'm also at MarcusSmoot. That's Marcus Smoot.
And you can find me on all social media platforms except for the X-rated ones at Lyric Bravado.
They follow you on Twitter for this? Hell no. For what? I want to hear this shit now. Turn this off. All right, up next on Real Talk, we're talking, is social media given too much power in defining or proving a person's actual life or their beliefs? We'll be right back.
PSA to all men, loving yourself and taking care of yourself does not make you gay. Catch it. I don't know what DL man told you it's fruity to clean the booty, but he was wrong. You are not gay for cleaning your body. You are not gay for going to get therapy. And if I'm being 100,000% real, a lot of these homophobic, transphobic stereotypes come from us as cisgender women who were either daughters of DL men or with DL men and just didn't know it. Do with that information as you please. I already know I'm going to get in trouble. I already know they're going to call me a pick-me. But baby, homosexuality is not the flu. There is no gay fairy that seeks out clean men. It just don't work like that. Ain't no grown woman out there gonna shame you for taking care of yourself. Ain't no grown woman out there gonna shame you for loving yourself. A lot of y'all be around women that are very much so psychologically childlike. The type of women that think a rapper is better than an engineer. Child. So go take a shower. You took Stinkerbutt to a whole new level. Okay? And clean between the booty cheeks. With soap. Okay?
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR, Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
As real as a plate of bacon. Right here on WRTR, Real Talk Radio. So, we're going to get into this question this week. Is social media given too much power in defining a person or reflecting their beliefs? Now, I asked this question online, told you guys that I would read some of your statements. So, with that being said, Willie Mateo says, yes, I believe so. Arlo Design says, yes, with lots of S's. He says, it most certainly is. It seems we are in a zone with news from social media and running to convince someone else before we have the facts. Look at what's happening with Janet Jackson right now. She said, I heard he was black. SMH. We just talked about that. SMH. So, I'm sorry. So sad that now everyone wants to both cancel her and at the same time fuel the race question. Ronnie Hinton says, reflecting. Derek Kane says, too much damn power. John Covington wrote a book and says, more people are honest. He said, more people are honest on social media than not. Even the trolls. I believe social media has power over people than people have over social media. It will have you looking at people you actually know like you don't know them at all, over simple disagreements. On the other hand, arguments with total strangers have some people like, where have you been all my life? It's weird. However, it's, quote, social media. I scroll, I read. Sometimes I don't look at an author of a post until I'm done reading it, and oftentimes know exactly who it is. I'll say to myself, this sounds like something so-and-so would say. I scroll up and boom, it is so-and-so. The kicker is, it's truly them or the kicker is it truly them or their alter ego? Laughing face emoji. So to answer your question, it's actually subjective.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I believe whatever you put out there is how you represent yourself. Regardless if you're trolling or not, you still have those thoughts and ideas to put it out in the public.
And that's where I landed
from
with
your
it.
mind.
Yep.
So, I just had this conversation with my mom, and I'm not gonna say. Well, she didn't tell me who, so it doesn't matter. But she just had a conversation with me the other day, saying how she has started to even delete people that she's known since her high school days because of their views and beliefs.
Yep.
Especially during politics. And the way that she put it was this. Simply said, if you don't want the same things for my family that you expect for your family on an equal level,
yep.
Why am I friends with you on here?
There you go.
Blocked.
And you know what?
Like, you know what? You're right, Mama.
Exactly. You know what, Mama Lyric? Tell them, because that's it. That's all. And that's where I landed with it. Because first off, to put something out on social media, you had to type it out. Mm-hmm. Or at least say it out loud to where your phone picked it up, and then you have to review it and then hit send. Mm-hmm. So you had to put thought into whatever it is that you posted before you posted it. Mm-hmm. And do I believe that it's reflective of who you are as a person? I absolutely do. Because, again, you put it out there. And my mama always taught me that first like what you put out there into the world, that first impression, you never know who's going to come across your page. And a lot of y'all find yourselves in okay, let me backtrack that. Let me say, for those of y'all out there that have once wanted high profile careers, and those of y'all that continue to pursue high profile careers, have you ever stopped to think that maybe you're in your own way sometimes with some of the things that you say publicly? Have you thought that maybe, just maybe, somebody that may just have a slight bit of an interest in who it is you are and what it is that you're doing may decide to look you up in 2024 before they decide to approach you, just to find out what kind of person you are or get an idea or kind of gauge? I know that for a fact that I've gotten people reached out to me, and I've gotten a lot of my contacts and a lot of the things that I, the gains and stuff that I'm making to today, that came from how I present myself and how I am on social media. But it's also reflective of the person that I am, because I can't be something online and then turn around and be something completely different in person, Meek Mill, because the internet's gonna pull receipts.
Yep, sure is.
They always will.
Listen, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time, whether it's written, whether it's in person, whatever the case may be. That's just how it is. That's just what I believe.
It truly is. And I don't know. Okay, so when you put that out there, hold on, what was the second part of the question? It was, does it give too much power in defining a person or reflecting their beliefs? No, it doesn't. It doesn't give too much power. It gives just enough. It shows us exactly who you are. And for the people that believe, is this that person or is this just their representative? See, here's the thing about, or you know what? I'm going to speak for myself. The thing that makes me different from the rest of a lot of y'all is that I actually stand by. I stand by the things that I say. And I adapt to changing information. Like the people that I caped for and that I rode with and that I, admired and stuff, based off of their own actions, they had the power to sway whether or not those things are true.
Right.
And I'm sorry, whether or not those things remain true. So I can reflect. If goddamn Sexy Red says something stupid about Donald Trump and how he gave us those stimmy checks so we ain't even mad no more, it is nothing for me to never turn on another Sexy Red song. It is nothing for me to never turn on another Janet Jackson song if she come out and doubling down on this bullshit before one of the most important elections in our lifetime, or actually the most important election in our lifetime.
Yep.
Or I can speak that for myself. Let me say that. So, yeah. Who you are, is how you present. So, there you go.
So, y'all stop being Bama ass motherfuckers online.
And then stop trying to hide behind it. Because a lot of y'all, what you will do is you will have word vomit online and then try to run that shit back. Like, oh, well, that was just social media. Yada. Because y'all got embarrassed online. And now you don't want to look like total dumbasses in person because now you have to tuck and hide. Like, what is up with people? I see it mostly in conservatives. But a lot of y'all niggas do that shit too, to where you can't admit when you're wrong about something.
Accountability.
What happens to y'all? What happens to y'all when y'all see facts?
Take accountability for what they say or do nowadays. It's just, it's easier to brush it under the rug or act like it didn't exist. Like, no. My thing is, this is the season for calling people out on their bullshit. And there's nothing wrong with correcting someone.
And it's nothing wrong with, like your mom said, letting them niggas go too. because you have to. I too have had to let a lot of contacts go, either from one reason or another. Like, I'm not hanging on to baggage for what?
Dead weight.
I'm not. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta take these whack ass views with you. You gotta take this America Great Again bullshit with you. All of that shit, it's got to go. We are not going back.
But you know what? On the flip side of it, I'm glad that it's all coming out, because that shows who I need, around me, or who I need to allow in my space at the same time, because that's one of the things social media has done. It's allowed me to separate. So y'all might not have, had these views or whatever beforehand and things like that, or you might have kept them hidden. But now, since Donald Trump has given the green light to so many people feeling comfortable to say these fucked up shit out loud and online, I'm able now to separate, like, oh, okay, that's how you always felt, but you've never said that in my presence. Okay, well, bye. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Blocked. Like, so that's one good thing, because now you're able to see and get these people, off of your friends list, or in real life, out your phone.
Right, because it's just like what we were saying earlier about what you ingest. Because once you see, if you keep seeing that shit, eventually you start believing it. I've realized that since I've started deleting certain toxic shit and blocking certain toxic people, my whole mood is better. Like, about going online, about my interaction, about, just everything.
Yep.
It just feels a lot better when I don't have people that I'm keeping in contact for. What do I need to keep in contact with the niggas from high school for? I didn't like you in high school.
Period.
With a few of them, yeah. But, I mean, the majority, probably not. Especially when y'all saying dumb shit repeatedly and regularly.
But that's another thing that comes with age, too. The older you get, the more you realize protecting your peace is really important. Really important. And you find yourself, you know what I'm saying, putting that as a priority versus just holding on to a whole bunch of friends that you used to have. Like, first of all, I've never had that mindset. I've always said quality over quantity. Like, I don't care that I know a whole bunch of people, but do those whole bunch of people have my best interest at heart? Do those whole bunch of people, have the same beliefs and values and morals that I have? That's what's most important to me, anyway.
I hear you. Alrighty, so I guess next week is the second one. Are we going to have a show next week, or do I want to take a week off for my birthday? I don't know. TBD. We'll see.
We can take a break because it's a celebration.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be, under a couch somewhere hoping a meteor doesn't hit me. All right, let's wrap up this show. I will end it with a quote from one of my faves, Tracy Ellis Ross. She says, the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture as aunties, grandmothers, and teachers. You do not need to push out a baby to help push humanity forward.
I love that.
So do I.
That's right.
Wrapping up another week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Miss Lyric, thank you for your brilliance and your time.
Oh, that's you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yep. The rest of y'all, thanks again for joining us for another week of shenanigans. Hopefully we broke down your week and at least brought a smile to your face.
And educated you at the same time.
Edutained.
Yes.
All right, we'll holler at y'all next week. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see you.
Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show features talents from TikTok creators Simple Black Theory, Cavell Kavan, _Savage_Lokius, QC's Finest 7577, Rich Retro, and official Ayana YV. using our platform to amplify your voices.